What's up, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB postseason recap. Mad Max, he showed up yesterday, not Max Scherzer. This guy. We have to talk about the fact that Tarik Skubal might not be a Tiger for all that much longer because the reports are saying that Skubal and the Tigers are in contract extension talks right now, and there's a gap of just $250 million, and everyone's saying that he's going to be a Dodger. And speaking of the Dodgers, yeah, we got to recap their game number 3 because the Brewers, they've been historically bad on offense. We'll talk about it, though. If you're brand new here, this is MLB Recap. I recap every baseball game almost every single day. What's not to love about that? So support the channel, leave a like, and hit that subscribe button. So don't forget that recap would be impossible to make without channel sponsors SeatGeek and Underdog Fantasy. Use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek to save 20 bucks off all of your tickets. And if you download Underdog Fantasy with my code and put in $5, 5 measly little bucks, they're going to give you $100 instantly, win or lose. Also, if you use code Fuzzy, they're going to give you a free pick. It's literally a win-win. So go download Underdog Fantasy. But as always, please play responsibly. So of course we have to talk about the games from yesterday, but we also have some small housekeeping updates to talk about because Nick Castellanos is allegedly about to get released or traded by the Phillies because the GM of the Phillies, Dave Dombrowski, basically said that, hey, we have Justin Crawford. He's going to be a lot of playing time. And Nick Castellanos had a -1 WAR with a sub 300 on base, and he was one of the worst outfield defenders we've ever seen. He's made $80 million so far to be Harper's protection. Yeah, he's not been that, especially this year. Maybe 2023, you can make the case that Nick was pretty good, but Castellanos often would just chase at bad pitches, so you would skip Harper and just go directly to Nick Castellanos. Justin Crawford, if that name sounds familiar, he is the son of the 4-time All-Star Carl Crawford. He's 22 years old, and like his dad, he is fast. Out of 80 grades, he has a 75 grade speed, and he got to AAA at just 21 years old, and he hit .334 with 34 extra base hits and 46 stolen bases with a tiny 18% strikeout rate. He can also play some amazing defense, just like his dad, who was a vacuum out there. So if you're a Phillies fan, are you excited to see Nick Castellanos go bye-bye? Because Nick has often put his foot in his mouth, which has not been great for him, and he seems like a good guy, but also, I don't know, sometimes his interviews and press conferences come across as a little bit condescending. Maybe that's just me. Wow, this is an even bigger story. I mean, way bigger. So Tarik Skubal, we know that he is going to win back-to-back Cy Youngs, and he's going to be a free agent after 2026. So the Tigers, they are essentially trying to scramble and put together an extension, and the reports are that Tarik Skubal and the Detroit Tigers aren't even close. The gap is at $250 million. And Tarik, we're talking about a guy who has a 2.3 ERA with 571 strikeouts his last 467 innings. We are witnessing one of the greatest peaks in baseball history from a starting pitcher, and there's a gap of $250 million. Yeah, the Tigers are not getting that deal done if it's that much of a gap. Who do you expect the Tigers to trade Tarik to if they do move on? And honestly, I've seen it already where people are just saying it's inevitable that Tarik Skubal is going to end up a Dodger because another crybaby Major League Baseball owner is saying that he can't afford a superstar generational talent, and that's going to force him to move on for a couple of prospects that might not pan out, and he's just trying to save some schmeckles. I mean, it's a joke. The Dodgers are a product of complete ownership ineptitude across the game, and it's infected some of you guys, and they've manipulated you to think that only the Dodgers can spend money and extend superstars or trade for superstars and develop a world-class organization with innovation. Anyways, I'm going to rant about that for days. Moving on. So we just talked about the gap between the Tigers and Tarik Skubal. Staying with gaps, again, a ton of fans across baseball are saying that the gap between the Dodgers spending and small market teams like the Brewers, it's completely unfair and breaking the game of baseball. Now, Glasnow, he allowed no damage in the first. Shohei, he threw his bat at a baseball. It was way outside. He poked it down the right field line for a triple. Mookie, he decided to ambush just like me in MLB The Show because it's not very smart in MLB The Show, but in real life, I mean, that's a first pitch sinker, and he dunked it. It's 1-0 already. Caleb Durbin, he wants 3 bases. Enrique dove, but he wasn't even close. He's in there. Bauers pretty much did the exact same thing as Mookie, just not ambushing. He had an RBI knock up the middle, so it's tied 1-1. Bauers, he's now off to the races. There was a botched pickoff move after the stolen base, so Bauers is on third. What a play from Max Muncy. The 360 no-scope, a perfect play to cut down Bauers at home. Glasnow, he struck out the side in a third. He had 8 total strikeouts. Misiorowski, he was just as gross, and he was honestly one of the nastiest starting pitchers I've ever seen in this specific game. 8 strikeouts over 4 frames. He was touching 102, 103 with the high velocity slider and curveball. Glasnow's 8th and final strikeout also came in the same inning as a walk ended his start, and Vesia, he got the call, quite literally got the call to the mound, and he got a lucky call right there. Mookie did not have a call go his way. That ball was way out, but that is the 9th strikeout for the Miz. Then he allowed a single, then he allowed a walk, and Edman, he dinked and dunked. Will Smith scores. Freddie, he took advantage and went to third base. Abner Uribe, he's in, and what happens to other teams when they face the Dodgers? It's like they just unplug their brains. In scores Freddie on the second error of the series for Abner Uribe. Jackson Chourio, man, I just feel bad for this kid because that hamstring is fighting against them. Seems like every single game. It's the same hammy that he hurt that made him miss a few games. He said that it was just a cramp, so he should be okay. Trinan, he's in there throwing blitz balls, and he got the strikeout. Mookie, look at this play in the 9th inning. That was kind of a Jeter play. Jeter said that it's not fully his play because you can't bounce it and call it the Jeter play. Mookie did have 6 outs above average. It's been so cool to see him go from a platinum-type defender in right field to honestly a Gold Glove-type shortstop, and the later years of his career, it almost doesn't make sense. Roki ends it with a strikeout for his 3rd save of the playoffs. The Dodgers are up 3-0. The Brewers, I mean, we could talk about pay disparity all we want, but they have a ton of good hitters. They have 9 hits in 3 games. That's tied for the worst ever in Major League Baseball history through the first 3 games of a series. Let's preview game number 4 because I don't know who's going for the Brewers, and even if I did, they might change it right before the game like they did yesterday with Aaron Ashby going to Jose Quintana. Then they said, now we're going to go to the Miz after Ashby. Ohtani is for sure going for the Dodgers. He's only had 10 plate appearances versus these currently constructed Brewers. He's had a few strikeouts and a walk. The bullpen, although they're not fully rested after using Trinan, Vesia, and Roki, it could be worse because they did have Yamamoto and Snell go basically every single inning. So the bullpen, they're feeling good. Now, before we talk about the Jays game, I do want to talk about a post from Ryan Knows Ball, and I agree with it. What happens to other teams when they face the Dodgers in the postseason? The Padres went 24 consecutive innings without scoring a run last year. Yankees game 5, there was a bunch of drama, including Aaron Judge dropping a baseball. The Yankees completely imploded in that game. Orion Kerkering with one of the biggest errors and biggest brain farts since... who was the guy for it? Bill Buckner? Yeah, Bill Buckner for the Red Sox. Just completely botched that play. And then Abner Uribe throwing a baseball away to give the Dodgers a free run in a pretty close game. I mean, you can't make this up. We have a big roster update before we talk about Game 4 of the Jays and the Mariners. Major League Baseball just approved Anthony Santander being removed from the roster due to a back injury. Joey Loperfido, who they got in the Yusei Kikuchi trade, he's on the squad. And this kid, he went crazy before taking a 98 fastball to the knee in August. Before that, he hit 390 with 10 RBIs in his first 79 plate appearances. After that, he only hit 167 and he was left off the playoff roster. But Loperfido, to me, is an easy automatic upgrade over Santander. And honestly, the Jays, they deserve it with Bo Bichette out. If the Blue Jays win here, this series is 100% guaranteed to go back to Toronto. The 41-year-old Max Scherzer, he's on the bump and he walked 2 in the first, but he got out of it unscathed. Josh Naylor, he nailed it in the next inning, a 3-hit game. He's done that 3 times in his last 6 games. The former Guardians are going crazy. They're literally trying to drive me insane. A Guardians fan. Naylor and Giménez both got traded this year by my team, and now Andrés is hitting a 2-run home run. Back-to-back games for who they're calling Agent Zero. Luis Castillo, he's out after a Lucas single. Vladdy singled as well. I don't know why they're still pitching to Vladdy. It does not make sense. And then Kirk, he took a walk. Gabe Spire, he walked in Dalton Varsho. We're going to the 4th inning now. Springer, he is as clutch as it gets if we're talking about October. That's an RBI 2-bagger. He scored a few moments later on a wild pitch, and the Mariners, they're literally imploding right now. A lot of Mariners fans are like, hey, Cal, can we kind of switch up that one-leg approach when you're catching? We need more blocks. Mad Max, he's yelling, yeah, I'm good. Let's go. Schneider, the manager of the Jays, said after the game that he was actually kind of afraid. Max is looking for his first playoff W in 6 years. He struck out Randon. He's fired up. Now, J-Rod striking out in the 6th. Mad Max had 5 strikeouts. He got 2 outs in the 6th before he had a walk and got yanked. And after that 4th walk, you could tell he wasn't really Mad Max anymore, that he had kind of calmed down. He's back to being just Max Scherzer. Gino, it's 5-2 on the blooper, but Naylor got hosed at third base. Barger unleashed a rocket, so the momentum is completely over. You cannot make the last out at third base. That's honestly a crusher right there. Vladdy, I mean, he just crushed one himself. We are witnessing one of the greatest playoffs in mankind. 5 home runs, 11 RBIs, and a near 460 batting average. Andrés Giménez had 2 more RBIs just for fun, just to rub it in even more. He had 1 RBI in 17 games as a Guardian in the playoffs. Go figure, he had 4 in one day. He scored Clement and Straw. More former Guardians. Mariners fans, just like me, they're depressed, okay? They're straight up depressed. We have a tie, 2-2. Gausman, he is going in game number 5. And remember, in game 1, he had 5 strikeouts, 2 earned runs, just 1 walk, and almost 3 base hits over 6-ish. No, not even 6. It was like 5 2/3 frames. He usually fares pretty well against the Mariners. Expected numbers for Bryce Miller against the Jays, I mean, are basically saying do not do anything on the over for Bryce Miller unless it's like walks, I don't know. Then again, Bryce did go 6 innings with 1 earned run and 2 base hits the last time he faced the Jays. Now, he's probably not going to strike out a bunch, expect lots of contact, so let me know in the comments who's going to win this game. And there we have it. Oh, you're over there. Listen, I have unk jokes now, okay? I'm not even a dad, but I got dad jokes. Thank you guys for watching. You guys know the drill from here. Leave a like, subscribe, use code Fuzzy on Underdog and SeatGeek and all that stuff. Stay safe, and I'll catch you tomorrow for another recap.